Good afternoon. It's Thursday, January 17. I'm Herman Green with your midday news. Special welcome to those of you watching online at onespotmedia.com. Former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson says he believes it is in CARICOM's best interest to take a unified position on Venezuela. This comes as some CARICOM countries abstained, voting for and against a resolution to recognize the legitimacy of Nicolas Maduro's new term as president of Venezuela.
I think we have too much at stake as a region to be divided about it, and particularly in the Organization of American States, where the Caribbean has clout because of the size of its membership and therefore its voting capacity. It becomes the more important when an issue as close and as important to us as Venezuela is, that we find some way of arriving at a united position.
Mr. Patterson was speaking in an exclusive interview with Dion Jackson Miller for an upcoming edition of TVJ's All Angles.
It should be remembered that the courts of Venezuela have indicated by their rulings that the process being pursued is a legitimate one. We can't ignore that totally.
The driver's license demerit point system for traffic offenses does not work. That revelation was made at this week's Public Administration and Appropriations Committee PAAC meeting. The system was implemented almost 9 years ago, but has glaring issues that have rendered it ineffective. Under the system, offenders lose points with each traffic offense and may have their license suspended after a specified number of demerit points. But with numerous reports of persons being held with hundreds of outstanding tickets, PAAC Chairman Dr. Wickham McNeil questioned why the point system hadn't suspended those persons' licenses. It was revealed that there's a misunderstanding as to which entity is responsible for enforcing the system.
If the individual amasses a certain number of tickets, the person is then taken to court. The judge now has a duty as it relates to whether or not they will decide to suspend the license or the person pay a certain amount of penalty.
Power, have you taken away anybody's license?
Chairman, if the majority of tickets are paid in the revenue service, the court would not have had an opportunity to assign any points. So it is
so
only,
the points don't reach you.
It is only when the matter would have been brought, as SSP is now saying, for a consideration of suspension. That is when the role of the court arises.
Victor Anderson of the National Road Safety Council explained that the current Road Traffic Act did not specify who was responsible for applying the point deduction, but that the responsibility has been mandated to the Island Traffic Authority in the new Road Traffic Act. However, Dr. McNeil was not satisfied.
The difficulty we face is not with making new laws and law after law after law. It is enforcing the laws that are in place.
Two opposition members are this afternoon calling for the government to urgently address the challenges faced by pedestrians in accessing some roadways due to the massive construction taking place. Spokesperson on Works, Michael Phillips, and Shadow Minister on Local Government, Dr. Angela Brown-Burke, raised the issues at a People's National Party press conference on Tuesday.
For example, of Maxfield Avenue, which is probably one of the elements that was well done. What was not taken into consideration is the number of children and adults who have to cross what is now a much wider and major thoroughfare without any protection. The number of children that have almost been hit down, the number of individuals that have actually been hurt crossing Maxfield Avenue. You have several schools in the area. No provisions have been made for those.
Meanwhile, the spokesman on Works warned against shortcuts to get the Constant Spring Road project completed by the given March timeline.
Have you ever traveled down Constant Spring Road when it is raining? It is a river as it is now. And we ask the question, are there adequate drainage being put in now? Seeing that China Harbour has been given a deadline for March, and again I raise the question, is it a realistic timeline?
And there's another call for the enforcement of existing laws. It comes from Mayor of Spanish Town Norman Scott, who is appealing to the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, to prosecute commercial entities that do not dispose of their garbage properly. Mr. Scott says commercial garbage is still a major challenge in the Old Capital. He was addressing the NSWMA's representative at the recent Municipal Corporation monthly meeting.
Solid waste, please, I want to prosecute the entity involved. Failing that, I'm going to, I haven't spoken to the ED yet, but I've spoken to the hierarchy, and I hope that you will follow through with this one, because we have to set an example.
He also complained about persons who continue to create mini dumps.
It is not the citizens in the area doing it, you know. It is commercial people paying people to do it. And I'll tell you, I saw one, when was it? Last week? Last week. I watched the man carry the thing, and I waited on him. I waited on him till him go back which part him I carried from, you know. And I followed him go over there. I followed him there and said, who you working with? And he told me.
No internet needed. Well, at least that's what the designers from the La Sierra University said when they launched a new educational device called the ELibrary Jamaica project on Tuesday. Partnering with the Ministry of Education, the ELibrary device allows secondary students and teachers to access educational material via laptops, desktop computers, and Android devices without the internet. TVJ's O'Shane Masters has more in this report.
This new device, launched by the La Sierra University and the Education Ministry, is an innovative program to help students. The project will enable students to access thousands of textbooks and more than 100 videos by uploading a software to their devices. Minister of Education Ruel Reid reassured principals and teachers at the launch that the digital library will improve students' learning.
This is another way of extending the library beyond brick and mortar structures and literally bringing the library into the schools. We are becoming more and more a digital society, using mobile phones, tablets, and other devices to obtain information. We know that students are already using the internet where they have access to do research for projects, and this takes place away from the traditional site where a library is physically located. So all those schools are asking for more libraries. We have a proper solution for you because ELibrary is the way to go.
One of the representatives from La Sierra University, Petrina Jameson, said she decided to advocate for the ELibrary project to be taken to Jamaica.
There's definitely a need for equitable and quality education for all, and the ELibrary is a part of a broad solution, and I will say that again, it's a part of a broad, wide-reaching solution because it's not the only solution to address the issues we're facing in education globally, to help address this concern and to help reinvigorate learning.
Principal of Tarrant High School, Major Paul Hall, said the program has helped improve performances in mathematics.
The students are also familiar with the sciences, and I can't get them to leave the device alone. Every day we want to explore the sciences and all of that. And so I asked them what is really interesting about this device and the information there. And what they said to me, the interactive videos. And so what is that telling us? We need to listen. And we need to change. There must be a shift in the whole paradigm, and engage our students.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Agriculture Minister Audley Shaw says the Jamaican government and the International Development Bank, IDB, have started discussions on a new program that will further boost agricultural production. He was speaking at Wednesday's launch of the SS Valley Agriculture Development Project in St. Elizabeth, where he explained that the $150 million bridging project will fund 2 more agro-parks and facilitate the government's mango export plan.
We have had our excellent mangoes in Jamaica, including Robin mango from St. Elizabeth, that can go to the United States. We have now signed off on an agreement with the United States government with an irradiation treatment plan to be able to export mangoes from Jamaica to the United States.
Meanwhile, he said the existing agro-park in St. Elizabeth has borne much success, especially in creating employment for 120 farmers from the New Forest area.
Grams of produce annually and created marketing links with hotel chains such as Rio Hotel Chain, and of course we have the Grace Agro-Processors Limited.
We go on to news overseas. In the United States, the president's own Secret Service agents are among the thousands impacted by the current government shutdown. As we hear in this report, the agents are now being forced to foot the bill for expenses while on the job.
Hello, folks. Thank you very much.
They put their lives on the line to protect the president, his family, and other key American officials.
Secret Service and military, these are great people.
And right now, the U.S. Secret Service is doing it without pay.
Overarchingly throughout the agency, the morale is starting to deteriorate.
Of the over 7,222 Secret Service employees, 5,978 are currently working without pay. 1,244 are furloughed.
Secret Service agents who are not getting paid.
Former Secret Service agent Jonathan Wackrow says with no paychecks in sight, many in the agency see bank accounts dwindling and short-term debt mounting, which itself creates a potential security threat and puts Secret Service jobs at risk.
If their credit score goes below a certain level, they lose their clearance levels, to operate at the highest level of the government.
According to Wackrow, while flights and hotels are covered for their travel, Secret Service members are paying out of pocket for other travel expenses while on the job, adding to the possibility of running up debt.
The smaller bill items like parking expenses, meals, taxi cabs, all of those things that build up over time. Now, if you're traveling, for 7 or 8 days at a time, and I have to front all of that money, that mounts up.
President Trump had this to say about the men and women who protect him as well as others going without pay.
I think they have been terrific. These are terrific patriots. A lot of them agree with what I'm doing, and I hope we're going to have the situation worked out. But they want security in our country, and so do I.
And we go now to some good news in sports, as the Aquatic Sports Association of Jamaica had the opening of their new building on the grounds of Independence Park Limited on Wednesday.
The new building represents the coming to fruition of a campaign promise made by President Martin Lynn before taking over the association for a second time in November of 2017. And President Lynn has expressed delight at having their own home.
It gives us the ability now to have space that our offices have now been expanded. It gives us now the ability to hire people because we now have physical space to put them in. So it means that definitely we can now run the Aquatic Association better. From a finance point of view, it gives us the ability to rent out spaces so we can get some sort of income from the various meeting rooms.
And President Lynn has expressed delight at having a new administrative home. Lynn adds that the new building will also allow the association to add more administrative workers. Minister of Sport Olivia Grange commends the move made by the ASAJ and has encouraged other sporting bodies to follow suit.
I'm so pleased this morning. I really want to encourage. We give subvention to over 40 sporting associations and federations. And if they all showed this kind of initiative, we would do that much better. Athletes are talented. They're doing a great job. But the administrators and the heads of the federation and associations, they all need to step up so that we can provide the facilities that our athletes need to perform.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Herman Green. Remember, our primetime news package is at 7 this evening. Please join us then. On behalf of the news, sports, and production teams, good afternoon.